Unfortunately, we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put 2 dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man to go nuts if he can't shoot. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
I'm getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation.
Queen.
Touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations. America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all in Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get mad. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat.
This is the sound of Eric Malcolm.
It's a cut on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threat. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X to my jeans and I got...
This is the sound of Emmett Fun.
All right, hello everyone, Grand Rising. Thanks for tuning in once again to the Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur TV show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your second morning wake-up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so already, be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr._A_Shakur, TikTok at Dr. A Shakur, and Twitter at DGoddess27. And if you don't like what the Queen is cooking, you already know what to do. All right, and hello, that crazy beach Aries, Terry Hen, Timber Dan, Reggie. All right, Sophie, Tracy, Aboriginal Woman, Samantha, Mr. Elevation. All right, let's get into it. Anita, Courtney J in the house, Miss Cookie, Juju, Kamini. Okay, Bithia is here. Okay, so shout out to all of my loyal royals and everyone tuned into the Queen. I see you, Cherokee Descendant Dale. Edward is here. Tracy, Aboriginal Woman, Deronda. All right, so let's get those likes up. The Prince of Paraphernalia, Rashid is here. Okay, and so with that all being said, let's get into it. Let's get into it because I was quite frankly very saddened to hear about the death of John Barnett, the whistleblower, okay, who talked about the safety hazards involved with the Boeing airplanes. So let's talk about it. The Boeing whistleblower's death is a tragic reminder that society still expects people like John Barnett to become martyrs. So a few months after a video of a Boeing plane flying with a gaping hole in its side stunned the country, a Boeing whistleblower, John Barnett, died of an apparent self-inflicted. Okay, that's what they said. A quality manager in North Carolina for 32 years, Barnett was supplying evidence to a whistleblower lawsuit that alleged 1 in 4 oxygen masks on Boeing planes could be defective, and that certain parts of the Boeing aircraft speeding through the production line were subpar. Now, when a person like John Barnett brings forward sensitive information about a physical or digital product or a powerful person, lawyers, regulators, and journalists swoop in to amplify the act from the information brought to light. Laws are rewritten, defective products are recalled, and personnel changes are made. These are all important seismic shifts that protect the general public, consumers, investors, and the workforce as well. But a lesser talked about and deeply critical issue is what is at stake for the human being bringing this information forward. As it turns out, going against the herd, obliterating one's financial security, and foregoing the blissful ignorance or cognitive dissonance that we sometimes need to move forward can do terrible things to a person's mental health and psychological well-being. Criticisms against whistleblowers are that they are attention-seeking, okay, bitter, disgruntled, and that's why they're going against the status quo. Or perhaps they have a messiah complex or a vengeful side, or that they are not a team player. So anyway, let's just go ahead and get into it. Because like I said, I was very saddened to hear this. And in case you're wondering how many whistleblowers have died, all of them. All of them, okay? All of these whistleblowers lose their lives. Do you know what courage it takes for someone to come out and speak against these huge corporations that make billions of dollars? What it takes for someone to come out and expose the things that are going on? These people literally risk their lives. And in most cases, they lose them. In most cases, they lose them. And tomorrow on this channel, I'm going to be doing an expose on a myriad of whistleblowers who have passed away. Okay? They didn't just pass away. They were taken out, okay? Quiet as it's kept. But with that all being said, let's go to the footage. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance.
Boeing started removing inspection operations off their jobs. So it left the mechanics to buy off their own work. So what we're seeing with the door plug blowout is what I've seen with the rest of the airplane, as far as jobs not being completed properly, inspection steps being removed. issues being ignored. My concerns are with the 737 and the 787 because those programs have really embraced the theory that quality is overhead and non-value added. So those two programs have really put a strong effort into removing quality from the process. When I first started working at Charleston, I was in charge with pushing back defects to our suppliers. And what that meant was I'd take a group of inspectors and actually go to the supplier and inspect their product before they sent it in. Well, I'd taken a team of 4 inspectors to Spirit Aerosystems to inspect the 41 section before they sent it to Charleston. And we found 300 defects. Some of them were significant that needed engineering intervention. When I returned to Charleston, my senior manager told me that we had found too many defects and he was going to take the next trip. So the next trip he went on, he took 2 of my inspectors. And when they got back, they were given accolades for only finding 50 defects. So I pulled that inspector aside and I said, did Spirit really clean up their act that quick? That don't sound right. And she was mad. She said, no, said the 2 inspectors were given 2 hours to inspect the whole 41 section and they were kicked off the airplane. Back in 2012, Boeing.
After the merger with McDonnell Douglas, the Airbus coming on, Boeing quit listening to their employees. So every time I'd raise my hand and say, hey, we got a problem here, they would attack the messenger and ignore the message.
A former Boeing whistleblower was found dead in his apartment over the weekend. Here's what we know. Authorities found John Barnett inside his South Carolina apartment with what appeared to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Barnett was a quality control manager at Boeing, who retired in 2017. He was one of several whistleblowers to appear in a 2019 New York Times story, raising safety concerns about manufacturing at Boeing's South Carolina plant where they manufactured their 787 Dreamliner. Barnett said he repeatedly raised concerns about metal shavings left near flight control systems that could be catastrophic if the wiring were to be damaged. He said his complaints were ignored and eventually filed a whistleblower complaint with the Federal Aviation Administration. The FAA later issued a directive, saying the shavings must be cleared before the planes are delivered. He also later spoke to the BBC in 2019, raising concerns about certain aircraft's oxygen systems, and how workers under pressure to meet deadlines sometimes use substandard parts. Boeing said after the revelations that concerns are, quote, immediately investigated, and changes are made whenever necessary. Barnett had worked for Boeing for 32 years. He was 62 years old.
Okay, so one thing that he got wrong, he said he was found deceased in his apartment. I believe that's what he said. He was actually found in his car outside of the hotel that he was staying at. And if you all think this man took his own life, please think again, because I absolutely don't believe that for a minute. You see, this man had been exposing all this stuff, I do believe, since 2017. With that all being said, why would he come this far to only take himself out? Okay? He'd already given part of his testimony. How many in the government have stock in this company? That's a good question. Now, at the end of the day, I don't think this man did this to himself. And I find it very interesting that this would happen while he was given this information. Now, authorities in Charleston are currently awaiting a formal determination on the cause of death, highlighting the significant global attention this case has attracted. Now, Barnett, a Louisiana resident, was pronounced dead at the scene. Barnett retired in 2017 after a 32-year career at Boeing, during which he voiced concerns about safety and production standards, particularly at Boeing's South Carolina factory. He had previously revealed to journalists and regulatory bodies issues such as discarded metal shavings near crucial wiring and faulty parts and oxygen systems of the 787 Dreamliner. The Barnett family has attributed John's untimely death to the immense stress and hostile work environment that he endured at Boeing, potentially leading to PTSD and anxiety. His legal representatives, Robert Turkowitz and Brian Knowles, expressed shock at his death, noting that Barnett had been looking forward to moving past his challenging phase of his life. Boeing has expressed sadness over Barnett's death and conveyed condolences to his family and friends. However, the company faces ongoing scrutiny over its production practices and safety standards amplified by recent incidents and regulatory concerns. Implications and reflections. They say experts caution against oversimplifying the reasons behind people taking their own lives, but acknowledges the potential impact of workplace environments and the mental health challenges. Barnett's case underscores the complex interplay between whistleblower actions, corporate culture, and individual well-being. Let me tell y'all something. Like I said, I don't think that man did it to himself. I absolutely don't think so at all. Okay, and I find it all so interesting. But listen to this. Now, do you all remember or did you hear about the door flying off? Okay, this was reported in January of 2024, earlier this year. The blowout part of the fuselage on a Boeing 737 MAX flying over Oregon is the latest in a string of safety problems, including 2 devastating crashes for the aerospace giants. Okay, I want y'all to pay attention because this is what this man was talking about. This is what he was complaining about. The subpar parts that were being used, oxygen mask not working, and the door literally blew off. And that was because of the screws or something wasn't adequate. Now, the most serious issues have involved 737 MAX, the latest version of its venerable 737, a workhorse of passenger aviation. United Airlines said Monday that inspections of other 737 MAX jets prompted by Friday's mid-air blowout on an Alaska Airlines flight turned up loose bolts, okay, and other installation issues on the part that failed. A door plug used to seal openings used for additional emergency exits and some configurations of the plane. Now, safety and manufacturing problems have also plagued other models. In 2018, a woman died when a piece of engine housing ripped off a Southwest Airlines 737 and shattered the window she was sitting next to. She was partially sucked out of the plane as it lost cabin pressure before other passengers pulled her back in. An example of the sort of tragedy that was avoided during Friday's incident over Oregon. Because see, in the incident over Oregon, when that door flew off, the people who were supposed to be sitting in those seats didn't catch the plane. They missed their flight, apparently, I believe it was. And so they likely would have, well, not likely, they definitely would have been sucked out. So Boeing began working on the MAX in 2011 as an answer to a new, more fuel-efficient model from European rival Airbus. Now, the company built it as an updated 737 that wouldn't require much in the way of additional pilot training, a key selling point for what has become Boeing's best-selling airplane. But the MAX did include significant changes, some of which Boeing downplayed, most notably the addition of an automated flight control system designed to help account for the plane's larger engines. Boeing didn't mention the system called MCAS in airplane manuals, and most pilots didn't even know about it. That system was implicated in 2 crashes that killed 346 people. Okay, I just want you all to pay attention. The first occurred when a MAX 8 operated by Indonesia's Lion Air plunged into the Java Sea in October of 2018. The second, when an Ethiopian Airlines 737 MAX 8 crashed nearly straight down into a field 6 minutes after takeoff from Addis Ababa. Boeing agreed to pay $2.5 billion to settle a Justice Department investigation, admitting that employees misled regulators about the safety of the 737 MAX. The amount included a $500 million fund for victims' families, though the lawsuits continue. Now, all MAX jets were grounded worldwide for nearly 2 years while the company made changes to the flight control system. Investigations revealed what a congressional panel called a horrific culmination of failed government oversight, design flaws, and inaction at Boeing. The MAX has suffered from a series of production issues. Boeing asked airlines last month to check the jets for a potential loose bolt in the rudder control system. Now, I just want you all to pay attention. You're riding around here or flying around here on these planes, not even knowing the safety hazards going on, that you could potentially be sucked out of a window, sucked out of a door that blows off. This is all crazy. Now, in a separate case, I'm sorry, I skipped something. Okay, after an international operator found a bolt with a missing nut during routine maintenance. In a separate case, Boeing found that an undelivered aircraft had a nut that was not properly tightened. The FAA recently told pilots to limit use of an anti-ice system on the MAX because the inlets around the engines could overheat and break away. Boeing last month asked the agency for a safety waiver while it develops a long-term fix. The company needs the exemption to begin delivering its new, smaller MAX 7 to customers. And then they've had engine fires, okay? Federal safety officials are still investigating an engine fire that was discovered on a United Airlines Boeing 737 MAX after the plane landed in Newark, New Jersey. In June, the flight crew noticed a fire warning indication as the panel taxied in. They shut down the engine and discharged a fire suppressant. There was no visible smoke or fire. The maintenance crews found a fuel leak as well as soots and heat damage. Also under investigation is what prompted the emergency landing in Wichita, Kansas, of a Denver-bound United Airlines flight on December the 14th. Passengers reported hearing a rumbling and an engine fire was discovered after it landed. No one was injured, thank God. In 2021, a Boeing 777's right engine fan blade broke off shortly after takeoff from Denver with 239 people on board. No one was injured. The NTSB blamed inadequate inspection of the fan blades as well as the insufficient frequency of the manufacturer's recommendation for inspections. Now, Friday's terrifying incident was reminiscent of a Southwest Airlines flight from Phoenix to Sacramento, California in 2011, when passengers heard an explosion as a chunk of the plane's roof opened at nearly 35,000 feet. Okay, just imagine that. The plane made an emergency landing and no one was seriously hurt, although 2 people passed out from a lack of oxygen. Okay, a flight attendant who fell and broke his nose, and a passenger who tried to help him. The NTSB blamed extremely poor manufacturing technique, saying many of the rivet holes on the plane's exterior skin had been badly drilled. This is all just unacceptable. At the end of the day, I would not ever be flying on one of these things. Okay? And I do believe, if memory serves me correct, that it was one of these planes that caused the most deadly crash in history of the U.S. I do believe. Hold on. The story of the Tenerife airport disaster. Let me see if this is it. The crash of 2 Boeing 747s at Los Ratos Airport on March 27th of 1977 was the deadliest in aviation history. The 2 jumbo jets collided on the runway after the departing KLM aircraft started its takeoff run before the taxiing Pan Am aircraft had vacated the strip. The accident claimed 583 lives, and while it was primarily due to pilot error and departure without clearance, there were several other contributing factors. The crash involved 2 heavily loaded passenger 747s collided on the runway. The jumbos involved were operated by KLM and Pan American World Airways, Pan Am. Both aircraft had diverted to the airport that day and were preparing to depart to continue their journeys to Gran Canaria. Likes up, everyone. Please don't forget to like and share. Thank you in advance. Now, the KLM aircraft was a 747-200 registration and named Ren, which means Rhine. Okay, it had entered service with KLM in October of 1971. That day, it was operating KLM flight 4805 from Amsterdam Schiphol to Gran Canaria. It was flown by Captain Jacob Veldehuizen van Zaten and First Officer Klaas Meurs. Also on board was flight engineer William Schroeder, and it carried 14 crew and 234 passengers on departure. So anyway, these planes collided, okay? Now, that necessarily, I wouldn't say was Boeing's fault, that the pilots clearly weren't paying attention or didn't get clearance or whatever, but nonetheless, it was on a Boeing plane. Jeff said the only times I've been on a plane in my life was late of April 2005, and that was to and from San Juan, Puerto Rico. Okay, well, I would advise all of you to not fly on Boeings. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I absolutely can't do it. Capricorn said the U.S. is going down in smoke fast. Yeah, absolutely so. Now, with that all been said, moving right along, everyone please get those likes up. Let's talk about it. Because Bishop Whitehead says that the feds was targeting him because they wanted information and receipts on Mayor Eric Adams, who is his friend. So let's get into it. Now, I took this information straight from his Instagram, and I put it in two parts because it's like a little over 10 minutes long. So let's hear what he has to say. And he also said, you all need to stop saying things about him because it's bad for his children because they have to hear these things and people are just saying stuff and don't even care. That's what he said. Okay, please pay attention.
How you doing? How you doing? How you doing? How are you doing? I'm hoping everybody's doing good. Thank you for all of the support. Lord Jesus, thank you so much for all the support. Thank you for all the prayers. Thank you. I want to thank everybody that have been just praying for me, praying for my family. Thank you guys, man. Thank you. God is just amazing, you know, to continue to give me great wisdom, great joy, in spite of it all. Amen. I want y'all to, you know, just tune in, and I just want to hold on one second. I just want to just talk to you guys for a little bit. Hey, how y'all doing? How you doing? I'm good, y'all. I'm good. I am good. Amen. God is amazing. And like I said this last night. I didn't save the video, but I want y'all to understand that God is still God, right? I want you to understand that God is still God, and the enemy wants you to give up on God, right? And I'm not going to do that. So y'all share this because I'm going on here, and I'm going to say what I have to say. There's a lot of questions. There's a lot of speculations, but I'm not going to talk too much about it. I just want to say what I have to say and then get on out y'all way. Hold on one second. All right. So everybody's asking me, right? Everybody's asking me, Bishop, what happened? What's going on? What in the world is going on? And you guys know that I was on trial. I was on federal trial, and I was found guilty yesterday. And of course, my team, me and my attorneys, we're going to appeal the matter. Okay. One of the things is that, you know, the media is going to put out there what they want to place out there. Okay. They're going to put out there. They're going to try to make this thing look the way they want to make it look. But I just want to tell you guys, I couldn't really talk about this while we was on trial, but I want to tell you guys why Bishop Whitehead was on trial. Okay. I want you guys to pay close attention. I want you to pay close attention to what I'm saying to you. And I need you to understand, right, that you guys have the ability. You have the ability to research. There's something called PACER. Okay. There's something called PACER. Okay. Y'all write that down. It's called PACER. You can sign up for PACER. And when you sign up for PACER, you can type in my name and you will be able to see every motion that was filed. Okay. Everything that was filed from the defendant, me, and the prosecution. Okay. Stop listening to all of these social media platforms and the media, right? Stop listening to them, you guys. Do your own research, right? Because you guys are sitting here. I'm getting so many different inboxes and stuff that my team is telling me about. people are laughing and people are saying you're going to jail and people are saying this and that. You know, I stand on my innocence, right? I'm innocent of all charges. However, if you guys read, you'll be able to see that I'm innocent. Now, why? And I want to be clear with this, y'all. I want to be really clear. Why was Bishop Whitehead on trial? Okay? Why was Bishop Whitehead on trial? This was not about Bishop Whitehead, y'all. This was politically driven. This was about Mayor Eric Adams. Okay?
Let me tell you all something. Now he's sitting there talking about God is still God. Well, of course, God is still God. Just because you got found guilty, got caught up in your BS and lies and fraud, it doesn't have anything to do with God. Okay, and then he wants to tell people to stop listening to social media, stop listening to the news and all that. I guess everyone's supposed to listen to him while he spews his lies. Let me tell you all something, beloveds. He's talking about read and do your research. Yeah, he's saying all of that. Please pay attention. Because he knows that the average Black person does not read and research. He knows that. So he's saying that as if he really wants you to read and research, but he knows that if you do, you're really going to know the truth like I do. And so therefore, he's just saying that to make it all sound good and make himself sound like a viable, credible source and all of this, and like he didn't do anything wrong. Like he's simply being targeted. Now I want you all to pay attention because things that he says is very reminiscent of someone else whom I exposed just a couple of years ago. And that's Vicky Dillard, a.k.a. Wig. Now, I told you all back then that this man was no different than her. And in fact, he isn't. You see, he's charged with fraud. Same thing Wig was charged with, and Wig was preying upon the elderly church folk. The same people that he's preying upon. And these people look like him, and the ones Wig preyed on look like her. Let's not forget the 69-year-old woman at the time, Archbishop Josita C. Williams, okay, whom Wig and her cohorts fraudulently signed that woman's $130,000 check. Let's not forget how many homes were lost and all of that. He wants us to sit here and listen to his lies and deceit. So if he's telling the truth, then that would mean that the elderly church woman who said that he bilked her out of her retirement funds $90,000 to the tune of, that she's lying. That's what we're supposed to think, that she's lying and making all this up, and that he's the one telling the truth and he's just being targeted by the feds. Didn't Wig say that she too was targeted by the feds? Well, here's the thing. They were targeted by the feds. Yeah. But not because the feds were after them to just try to bring them down because of whom they knew or what they were doing. Like Wig said, she was out here fighting like she was such a activist out here, acting like she was Huey P. Newton. But she was robbing the same people, defrauding the same people that she claims to love. And the same about Bishop Whitehead. Okay, please watch out for these charlatans, these false prophets, okay, who come to lie, steal, and cheat and take what's yours. That's what he is. Sitting here talking about God is still God. Don't even mention God, honey. That's what he need not do. Okay, because the things that he did was clearly of Satan. God had no hand in it. And at the end of the day, he's getting exactly what he deserves. He needs to be in a federal prison just like Wig was. Okay, and when he gets out, well, he needs to be on supervised release, just like Wig was. Okay, as far as I'm concerned. He needs to sit down somewhere, continuously spreading these lies and foolishness, and trying to make anyone who's willing to listen and be foolish enough to believe that he didn't do a thing. That this is all about Mayor Eric Adams. Well, I don't doubt that the feds want information on Mayor Eric Adams, because didn't they raid him not too long ago or whatever? But at the end of the day, that doesn't have anything to do with his guilt. Okay? The man that he tried to extort, supposedly. So all of this stuff is the truth. He was found guilty. Now, you can sit there and plead your case and say you're innocent all you want, but I'm going to go with the witnesses. I'm going to go along with the victims, okay? I'm so sick and tired of these jackleg, bootleg pastors out here stealing, robbing their own congregations, defrauding them, okay? Taking advantage of the elderly and such. I'm sick of it, and you should be too. Okay, you should be too. At the end of the day, he needs to go right where he needs to be, and that's behind bars. All right, that's behind bars. He can go in there and preach his lies to the people in prison where he's going to soon be. Talk about he's appealing. Yeah, Wig appealed too. But at the end of the day, you're going to get exactly what you deserve, Bishop Whitehead. All right, riding around here. Here's the thing. People don't find it interesting because I have questions. People who go to church. Okay, I used to go to church, when I was brainwashed and indoctrinated. But here's the thing. People who go to church don't think it odd that these preachers riding around in Bentleys and Rolls and living in these mansions and draped in Gucci and diamonds and all of that. They don't find that interesting. That these pastors are riding around living like they're some rappers or some, big time celebrities or whatever. They don't find it interesting that they're spending all their money on this, money that they get from their parishioners, but they're not doing a whole lot to help the homeless. They're not doing much to build up the community that they reside in or that their parishioners, in fact, reside in, because most of them don't even live near their parishioners. They live somewhere out on the hills in big mansions in gated communities. But they don't have questions about any of this, and they don't wonder why some of these pastors won't even perform eulogies anymore if the person who passed away was not caught up on their tithes. I'm sorry. Say what? Private plane, says Terry Hitt. Exactly. Like Creflo Dollar had people donate money to him so he could get a private jet that costs about $60 million with all the fancy trimmings. These prosperity preachers, I just want you all to pay attention, are the worst. Because the only one that's gaining prosperity are them. What are the parishioners getting? What's their congregation getting? It's all crazy. And let me just show you all some of the foolishness that continues to go on in church, okay? Let's talk about it. Like stuff, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance, beloveds. Hold on, let me make sure I'm pulling up the right video. Okay, here we go. Like stuff, everyone, please like and share. Some of these people are a whole mess. I absolutely cannot. How about y'all? Not up in church. Not up in church dancing like Michael Jackson. This is all crazy. Roddy said church is the new club. That pastor wearing all black was doing a whole dance. I am talking about a different video. This is all crazy. This is all crazy. Oh, also, shout out to Prime One. Thank you, beloved, for your contribution to the channel. I really appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings to you. Child, this is all crazy. Mad Dog Jack said church is like a theater. Okay. No, not gonna be able to do it. Okay, I'm sorry. It's a no for me. Okay, I'll serve the Most High at home, honey. This is just doing too much. Okay, and so I'm saying these people out here, these prosperity preachers, again, all they're doing is enriching themselves. That's all they're doing. Okay, it's all crazy. But anyway, I digress. Let's go to the next portion of what Bishop Whitehead had to say. I don't know if I'm be able to listen to the whole thing, but let me just pull that up. Like stuff, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance.
Targeted. On June the 8th, the FBI came to my house, and I was going out for my morning walk. And he jumped out on me and said to me that I wasn't arrested. I wasn't under arrest, but they had a search warrant to take my phone. Within the search warrant had everything to do with the mayor. See, these are the things that you guys don't know. Everything to do with the mayor. And what they said to me was, we don't want you. We want the mayor of New York. That's what happened. I have the videos. with the surveillance on my home. And I need y'all to understand that this was politically driven. And just because I was not going to be a federal informant against the mayor of New York, the FBI said they was going to make my life a living hell. And that's what you guys are seeing. That's it. Period. Point blank. So we're going to be appealing this, and we're going to do what we have to do. But I need y'all to understand that you can't in one breath stay no justice, no peace. And then you don't even get the whole story, and everybody's sending me to prison. Everybody's saying I robbed this person and robbed that person and robbed this person. Right? Research, y'all. Research. All you have to do is research. Go on Pacer. Put my name in there and look at the court documents. That's all you have to do. So I ask you guys to really be sensitive that I have children that look at your posts. And I've never done anything to you guys, right? And I'm still a man of God, and I still preach the word of God, no matter what you guys think. But what if, just say what if I'm not guilty, right? What if? I need y'all to understand that this trial was just another round in the fight. That's all it was, another round in the fight. But the fight is not over, y'all. And I'm not going to let anybody discourage me. And I really don't care what people are saying. But I want y'all to understand that this didn't have nothing to do with me. It was an attack on the mayor of New York City. And I declined not to be an informant against the mayor of the city. And he's not even doing nothing, right? They want information. They wanted information. They wanted me to be against him and close to him. And anyway, y'all know what it is. I ain't never been an informant in my life, and I ain't starting now. So I want y'all to truly understand, right? I want you to truly understand that God is still God. God is still God. God is still God, y'all, right? And there's a lot of mean people out here. There is a there's a lot of mean people out here, but I'm not one of them. So I'm just asking you guys, keep me in your prayers. God is the greatest. And I want you to understand that I am innocent. 10 toes down, y'all. 10 toes down. The bishop is 10 toes down. And I know it looked crazy right now. I know I was found guilty, but there's more to the story. There's more to the story. And I just want y'all to understand. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. There's more to the story. So we need to be praying for our leaders. Pray for me, y'all. Even if you feel that I've done something wrong, pray for me. But I will not be an informant against the mayor of New York. And that's just what it was. All right? And they told me that they was going to make my life a living hell. So this is all documented. This all came out. And you can do your own research. But I'm standing 10 toes down. And y'all be encouraged as I'm going to be encouraged. Right? And I want y'all to get an understanding that if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for everything. Period, point blank. Just look at the charges. Do your research and ask yourself, does this make sense? That's all I ask you. That's all I ask you. I don't got a lot of y'all. I don't know most of you. You guys follow me. But does this make sense? Love y'all so much. Stay focused and stay firm. Trust and believe that it ain't over. The appeal is coming, and we're going to do what we got to do. 10 toes down. God bless y'all.
I'm sorry, but I beg to differ, honey. When the feds come, they're coming correct. When the feds come, they're coming correct. Okay, the feds have all the receipts and all the proof and information when they come. You can't dispute it. Okay, how many people get off with a federal case? The feds are 9 times out of 10, or shall I say even 10 times out of 10, on point. But here's the thing. If you notice, he low-key told on himself. He low-key told on himself as far as I'm concerned, because when he said that the feds told him they wanted him to be an informant on Mayor Eric Adams, which I do believe they did. I believe he's telling the truth about that, but here's the thing. If in fact they did tell him that and say they would make his life a living hell, that's because they already had the goods on him. Pay attention. Who do the police and the feds go after to be informants? It's always somebody who has something to lose. They're not going to just come into somebody who hadn't committed any crimes and try to coerce you into doing anything, snitching or whatever. They go to the people who have done criminal acts, and they make deals with them that if they want to get out of the trouble that they're in or could be in, well, you better start talking and working for us. So by saying that the feds targeted him about Mayor Eric Adams, he really was saying that he did something illegal for them to be coming to him in the first place, offering him to be an informant. As far as I'm concerned, he needs to sit down somewhere. The lies he's sitting up there telling, okay, the lies he is sitting up there telling, and then talking about do your research and stop listening to social media. And then he says in one breath, some of the things you all say, please think about how it affects his kids. And then he goes on to say, I don't care what people say. Well, clearly you do care what people say. Because if you didn't care what people say, you wouldn't have done that whole 10-minute video. Okay, please sit down somewhere. And another thing is this. He says that he's not, you kind of said, I agree, Queen. He probably told the truth about Adams. But, okay, now here's the thing. At the end of the day, he's talking about there's a lot of mean people out there and he's not one of them. Yes, you are. We all saw you choke that poor woman in Sunday service. Y'all remember that? I showed you the footage. He choked that woman and he was arrested for doing so. But we're supposed to think he's all nice and sweet and innocent? Please. He's a whole thug is all I'm saying, okay? He is a whole thug. And I don't believe anything coming out of his mouth talking about he's a man of God. What God is he talking about? Satan? Clearly not the Most High that I serve. He's not a man of the Most High. All right? He needs to sit down somewhere. This is all crazy. Okay, I am so sick of these charlatans. And speaking of charlatans, let's go to that footage of Nature Boy again, okay, with his sick self. And for the people who were saying Nature Boy doesn't deserve all the time he got, well, he deserves that. Absolutely.
I'm naked with my in front of my kids. I'll never be ashamed of sex. My son be breastfeeding and I'll be to his mom. That's me, bruh. That's how I get down around kids.
There is no white people. It doesn't even make sense. There's only humanity in different vibrations of brown. Everything in nature is green and brown. Different shades of brown. When you go to the beach, what color is the beach? Brown. Tan brown. You see? So all of humanity is brown. Different shades of brown depending on the melanin vibrating in the in the MSH, the melano-stimulating hormone that they have in the body. You can lose your brown. It's called vertigo. You can lose melanin and become less brown, or you can gain melanin and become more brown.
I don't believe in going to no doctor to put no spell on me to sell medicine to me. I feel good. One person has herpes, that's a human being. We all have herpes. So I wanted to understand disease, to teach about disease.
I feel that now looking back, I feel that I fell in love with an idea because he pretended to be someone that he wasn't. I was forced to engage in sexual activity that I did not want to do. I was still strangled on multiple occasions. So I had to willingly engage in these activities because of, to keep myself safe. He would abuse me in front of the women.
Okay, these are some of the fools that people are listening to. Nature Boy and Bishop Whitehead, okay? Out here fooling the masses, making a mockery of them. Naja said, I still can't believe he was able to brainwash anyone. I mean, he sounds crazy, but you have to realize, beloved, some people lack common sense and critical thinking skills, and some people are caught up, with the idea of something and wanting to be a part of something. If someone, has abandonment issues where they didn't have their parents really showing them love and nurturing them, or they had some type of trauma as a child or even as an adult, some of these people, they want to have something to believe in or someone to believe in. So they're susceptible to fall to the lies that people like Nature Boy will spew. And notice that it's, predominantly young people who fall for these things. Please pay attention. Okay, please pay attention. Now, with that all being said, let's look at this cop who went viral, and then she got suspended for 10 days for what she said in the viral video. I don't know who Karen thought she was, but it began with a 38-second TikTok video posted by a police officer who had been on the job for less than a year. Okay, on July the 1st of 2022, Federal Way Police Officer Brianna Strauss posted a video complaining about drivers who didn't pull over for the police officers on the highway. And here's what she had to say. Let's listen to it.
PSA to everyone out there. I'm speaking for myself, but I'm probably speaking for a large majority of other officers out there. If we're driving on the freeway in our police car, get the out of the way. Get the out of the way. If you merge and we follow behind you and we merge too, you're probably in trouble. The best way to find that out is get the out of the way. I can go 90 miles an hour. You can't. You can't do that. So get the out of the way. If us officers stay behind you long enough, we can find a reason to pull you over. So you might as well get the out of the way. Super simple. That's all. You're welcome.
So she literally admitted that they can find a reason to pull you over, okay? And get the F out of her way is what she said. Well, that all earned her, like I said, 10 days without pay, suspended for 10 days without pay. And they say this is the same department that the police chief rear-ended a car while in a police car. The reason he rear-ended another car was he was texting on his phone. Of course, he didn't get a punishment because he was trained or because he is trained. Officer Strauss removed the video from TikTok, but the news station KIRO 7 quickly picked up the video and published it online later that day. This triggered an investigation into Strauss. They said, we have viewed the social media posts posted by the social media video posted by Officer Strauss and can assure you that it does not represent the core values and practices of our police department. This is what the statement said from the Federal Way Police Department. Now, they say the matter is currently being investigated administratively for policy violations and appropriate personnel actions will be taken. Okay, so it was investigated for 6 days, and the department found Strauss violated the FWPD's code of conduct, violating both social media conduct and personal conduct, and she was given a 10-hour. I'm sorry, it wasn't a 10-day. It was only a 10-hour suspension without pay. Okay, so just a day's worth of work. Please pay attention. Now, they said we had not received any complaints against Officer Strauss regarding arrest, citations, or traffic stops. This is what Commander Kurt Schwann of the FWPD said. He added that Strauss had no previous disciplinary issues since being sworn in on August the 9th of 2021. However, she also noted that the investigation did not review all of her past arrests or citations, leaving open the possibility that she could have abused her authority at some point in her duty. Well, you already know she did. I'm pretty sure she did. Strauss may have finished serving out her suspension a long time ago, but the ramifications of her video are still making waves online. Police corruption continues to run rampant in the news. Videos like these are breaking what little trust remains between the community and those who've been sworn to protect it. Okay, I just want you all to pay attention. I find it also nefarious. Now, let's talk about TikTok, because they're trying to get rid of TikTok, and it's all so crazy. This is nothing more than government control. Okay? And so let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Now, here's what they say. Bill that could ban TikTok passed in the House. And here's what to know. So TikTok, once again, finds itself in a precarious position as lawmakers in Washington move forward with a bill that could lead to a nationwide ban of the platform. Now, the House on Wednesday passed legislation that would ban TikTok if its China-based owner, ByteDance, doesn't sell its stakes in the popular social media platform within 6 months of the bill's enactment. So what's in the bill? Well, I'm so glad you asked. The legislation essentially gives ByteDance two options: either sell TikTok or face a ban. Now, if ByteDance chooses to divest its stakes, TikTok could continue to operate in the U.S. if the president determines through an interagency process that the platform is no longer being controlled by a foreign adversary. The bill would also require ByteDance to give up control of TikTok's well-known algorithm, which feeds users content based off of their preferences. This is all so crazy. The United States is a mess. Now, experts have said that it will be challenging for ByteDance to sell TikTok in a few months. If the company chooses not to sell, TikTok will be prohibited from app stores such as those offered by Apple and Google, as well as a web hosting service, as well as web hosting services until a divestiture occurs, according to the bill. Now, lawmakers from both parties, as well as law enforcement and intelligence officials, have long expressed concerns that Chinese authorities could force ByteDance to hand over data on the 170 million Americans who use TikTok. The worry stems from a set of Chinese national security laws that compel organizations to assist with intelligence gathering, while ByteDance would likely be subject to and other far-reaching ways the country's authoritarian government exercises control. Well, that's what it sounds like the U.S. is also trying to do, okay? Be authoritarian and exercise control. Now, TikTok has denied assertions that it could be used as a tool of the government, of the Chinese government, and the company has said it has never shared U.S. user data with Chinese authorities and won't do so if asked. To date, U.S. government also has not provided any evidence that shows TikTok shared such information with Chinese authorities. Now, see, they're just painting narratives. Now, apart from security concerns, some lawmakers, researchers, and critics of TikTok posit the app saying that suppresses content unfavorable to Beijing, which TikTok denies. Now, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence also warned in a report that was released on Monday that the Chinese government has used TikTok to influence recent U.S. elections. They say TikTok accounts run by a PRC propaganda arm reportedly targeted candidates from both political parties during the U.S. midterm election cycle in 2022, according to the report. They say no, the Senate would also need to pass the measure for it. Well, they asked the question, will TikTok shut down now? They say no, because the Senate would also need to pass the measure for it to become law. But it's unclear what will happen in that chamber, where several bills aimed at banning TikTok have stalled. Senate lawmakers have indicated this bill will undergo a thorough review. President Joe Biden has said that he will sign the bill if lawmakers pass it. They said if that happens, ByteDance would have 180 days to sell TikTok to a qualified buyer. Who do they want to buy TikTok? Somebody like Mark Zuckerberg. Please pay attention, or Elon Musk, okay? That's just my opinion. Now, the proposal could also be challenged in the courts by TikTok, which has sued to counter other attempts to ban the platform, both nationally and at the state level. But what happened to the previous attempts to ban TikTok? Well, in 2020, former President Donald Trump attempted to ban the social media platform through an executive order. This was later blocked by the courts after TikTok sued. Now, the Trump administration also brokered a deal in 2020 that would have had U.S. corporations, Oracle and Walmart, take a large stake in TikTok on national security grounds. But the sale never went through for a number of reasons. One being that China, which imposed stricter export controls, imposed stricter export controls on its technology providers. Now, the Biden administration revoked Trump's executive order, but continued a review of the platform by the Secretive Committee on Foreign Investment in the U.S., an interagency committee that reportedly threatened to ban TikTok last year if its Chinese owners didn't divest their stakes. The White House acknowledged last month that the review remains ongoing. Now, other efforts for federal lawmakers to enact nationwide bans were stalled last year amid lobbying from TikTok, as well as influencers and some small businesses who use the platform. The American Civil Liberties Union and some digital rights groups have opposed a TikTok ban on free speech grounds and argued that the latest House bill would violate the rights of Americans who rely on the app for information, advocacy, and entertainment. I just want you all to pay attention. You know, because a lot of people from the U.S. make a lot of money on TikTok. And I'm not just talking about monetization. I'm specifically talking about the TikTok shops. A lot of these people make their living on the TikTok shop. Okay, they have their products and services on there, and they do pretty good. So at the end of the day, here's the thing, though. This is not just about banning TikTok. Okay, this isn't just about banning TikTok. So let's talk about it. I'm going to share my screen so you all can see this. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance. Now let's get into it. Kendrick says, facts, Queen, they just mad they can't control the narrative of TikTok. Exactly. That's what it is. And a lot of people gain a lot of knowledge and powerful information on TikTok. Okay, there's a wealth of spiritual information. Okay, and there's all sorts of stories about crimes and things that happen to people specifically who look like me, like the story about Tyrekus Atwood that I reported to you all, and I've still not seen that on the mainstream media. Okay, this young man was chased and hunted like an animal by these racist devils down there in Laurel, Mississippi. The same type of thing that happened to Rasheem Carter. Okay, this didn't get any news attention. And I find it interesting. So they don't want us to have this type of information, to know these things. And they don't want people spreading knowledge and information and waking up the masses when they're trying to do their due diligence to keep the masses asleep. Okay, and pumped full of lies and indoctrinated and brainwashed, quite frankly. Okay, so now let's talk about this bill. Let me see if I can increase the size so you all can see this. Now, this bill prohibits distributing, maintaining, or providing internet hosting services for a foreign adversary controlled application. Okay. However, the prohibition does not apply to a covered application that executes a qualified divestiture as determined by the president. Okay, as determined by the president. So the president has to say so in all of this. The president gets to tell us what we can and can't watch. The president gets to tell us which apps we can and can't use. How is this making any sense? How is this, not a violation of our rights, and specifically freedom of speech? We can't get on there and post things and say certain things if they ban it and all of that. Okay, I'm sorry, but this sounds like a dictatorship. Now, under the bill, a foreign adversary-controlled application is directly or indirectly operated by ByteDance, okay, or TikTok, including their subsidiaries or successors, or a social media company that is controlled by a foreign adversary and has been determined by the president to present a significant threat to national security. Now, the prohibition does not apply to an application that is primarily used to post product reviews, business reviews, or travel information and reviews. Okay, so they don't want to ban anything that's giving reviews about certain things. Now, the bill authorizes the Department of Justice to investigate violations of the bill and enforce the bill's provisions. Entities that violate the bill are subject to civil penalties based on the number of users. The bill requires a covered application to provide a user with all available account data, including posts, photos, and videos, at the user's request before the prohibition takes effect. The bill gives the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia exclusive jurisdiction over any challenge to the bill. Further, a challenge to the bill must be brought within 165 days after the bill's enactment date. A challenge to any action, finding, or determination under the bill must be brought within 90 days of the action, finding, or determination. Okay, so basically, here's the thing. This bill basically would give the president, the wherewithal to say what we can and cannot look at, and basically what apps you're allowed to have. Not just TikTok. It goes beyond that. Now let's go to this. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance. Okay, so now here's what it says. To protect the national security of the United States from the threat posed by foreign adversary-controlled applications, such as TikTok and any successor application or service, or in any other application or service developed or provided by ByteDance. Okay, so they're acting like it's a matter of security. Okay, please pay attention. And so the first thing is, I'm going to skip past that. Now, providing services to distribute, maintain, or update such foreign adversary-controlled applications, including any source code of such application by means of a marketplace, including an online application, mobile application, through which users within the land or maritime borders of the United States may access, maintain, or update such application. Now, I want you to pay attention. They talk about maritime borders, okay? Hold on. Providing internet hosting services to enable the distribution, maintenance, or updating of such foreign adversary-controlled application for users within the land or maritime borders of the United States. Now, they say in the case of an application that satisfies the definition of a foreign adversary controlling application pursuant to subsection G3 and A, beginning on the date that is 180 days after the date of the enactment of this act, and in the case of an application that satisfies the definition of a foreign adversary controlled application pursuant to, and then it lists the subsections, beginning on the date that is 180 days after the date of the relevant determination of the president under such subsections. Now, if the application of any provision of this section is held invalid with respect to a foreign adversary-controlled application that satisfies the definition of such term to subsection G3A, such invalidity shall not affect or preclude the application of the same provision of this section to such foreign adversary-controlled application by means of a subsequent determination pursuant to subsection G3A. Now let's talk about the covered company. In general, the term covered company means an entity that operates directly or indirectly, including through a parent company, subsidiary, or affiliate, a website, a desktop application, mobile application, or augmented or immersed technology applications that permit a user to create an account or profile to generate, share, and view text, images, videos, real-time communications, or similar content. It has more than 1 million monthly active users with respect to at least 2 of the 3 months preceding the date on which a relevant determination of the president is pursuant. Okay? Then enables 1 or more users to generate or distribute content that can be viewed by other users of the website, desktop application, mobile application, or augmented or immersive technology application. So in conclusion, the term covered company does not include any entity that operates a website, desktop application, mobile application, or augmented or immersive technology application whose primary purpose is to allow users to post product reviews, business reviews, or travel information and reviews. Okay, so I'm not going to read all of this, but I just want you all to pay attention because here's what they're basically saying. They're basically saying that the president will have control over any apps that you're using because it's not just TikTok, like I said. And then also, they're trying to act like it's a matter of national security. How is there a threat to national security via TikTok? I have questions. How is there not? Now, Facebook has had some shady things going on for years. Why aren't they trying to ban them? Why aren't they trying to ban Twitter? Okay, Trump tried to ban Twitter, but why aren't they trying to ban that also? Okay, are they upset perhaps because they're not making any money off of TikTok? Well, that's likely one of the reasons, but also more specifically, the fact that they don't want people getting all this knowledge and information. Okay, they don't want people getting all this knowledge and information that's put out here. And this is an invasion of privacy as far as I'm concerned. First of all, the government should have no business worrying about what I'm looking at online as far as apps are concerned, okay, that are public and where people can share and, put out information. They shouldn't even be concerned about that. Why are they? Because this is starting to sound reminiscent of a communist country where they just dictate the narrative of our lives, okay? Giving all power and control to the presidents. And I have a problem with that, and as should you, because this is against our rights, okay? This is against our constitutional rights. And I want you all to pay attention because when they talk about maritime law, they're talking about the law of the sea, not the land. And when they talk about this, they're basically saying they have control over us because of they have us listed, okay, as dead or lost at sea. Now, I'm not going to get into this whole spiel about maritime law, but at the end of the day, they have us listed as dead or lost at sea. I went to the IRS years ago, okay, and I was asking questions, and I demanded that they give me the paperwork showing how they had me listed in their system. I said, do you have me listed as a live, living human being, or do you have me listed as dead or lost at sea? And the lady says, well, we have you listed as alive. And I said, well, can you give me the paperwork proving that? And she said, oh, no, we can't give it to you because that belongs to us. I said, it belongs to you, but it's about me. So why can't I have a copy of it? See, it's all a game. I want you all to pay attention because here's the thing. This is why they say things like, you put your money in a bank, okay, like the riverbank, okay? They call money currency, okay, like the currents in the river. I'm just saying, please pay attention to the words of trickery that they use, all right? Please pay attention to the words of trickery that they use. These people are real slick. And when they start including words like maritime, you have to be paying attention. All right? Because the devils are always up to something. Okay, Mr. Elevation said, Queen, you told us about this years ago. Absolutely, beloved. Thank you for remembering. Khalid said, I can send you some paperwork on this, Queen. Honey, I have the paperwork. I know all about this stuff. Okay? That's why I'm in my correct indigenous standing. I'm not listed as no African American because, first of all, that's just a term made up by Jesse Jackson in the 80s. Just like FBA is a term made up, Foundational Black Americans, by Tariq Nasheed. Okay? You're not going to call me something that you made up. Please sit down somewhere at the end of the day. All right? That's what you're not going to do. Prime One said, that's right. Okay, Shirley said, they are opportunities and thieves. Yes. Opportunists, absolutely. Okay, Dan says, exactly. I ain't no African American. Right. And no offense to anyone. Exactly, beloved. Okay, Queen Sam said, pay attention. Please tell me a good etymology book. I'll have to think of one. I can't think of one off top. But Khalid said, you're right. Exactly. These people think they're so slick. Let me tell you something. How much would they love it if they could just tell us what we can watch and what we can listen to? If they could just tell us how, they could dictate how information is disseminated. At the end of the day, they don't want you to have freedom of speech. They don't want you to be able to. So we already don't have freedom of speech. That's dead. Okay, that's a wash. This is why when I sit on YouTube, I have to say S-E-actually. I can't say the word. Okay, this is why on YouTube, you are not supposed to say the word R-A-P-E. You have to call it grape. There's censorship. That's why you can't talk about certain things, or you get shadow banned, or your channels get snatched. This is censorship. Now, as long as you're not saying anything dangerous, threatening, or making any type of, false allegations against people, you should be able to say pretty much whatever you want. If what you're saying is not doing any harm, inciting any violence, or causing anything to anyone's detriment, you should be able to say what you want on social media. But you can't, because the government wants to control what you hear and what you say. And if there's information to which they don't want you to be privy to, they will tell all sorts of lies and paint all kinds of narratives and demonize and vilify the very people who try to give you said information. See, this is why people like John Burnett are deceased, in my opinion. All right, whistleblowers, people who speak truth to power and start exposing things that they don't want exposed. And by they, I mean the 1%, the elites. So at the end of the day, is there really freedom of speech? No, there isn't. And now they're trying to take away even more of our rights. Who are they to tell us which apps we can or cannot install on our darn phones? Who are they to say what information we should or shouldn't be privy to? And then they use it under the guise of national security, just like they did with the Patriot Act, which is quite frankly an invasion of our privacy. I'm not a terrorist, so why should I be treated as one? Why should any of you be treated as one? Okay? We're tax-paying citizens. How come we don't get to decide for ourselves what we want to do, okay, on social media, what we want to say and what we want to listen to? I find it all very interesting. That's what it is. These people are low down and nefarious. And like I said, this is nothing more than them trying to make this into a communist regime, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, a whole dictatorship where they control the masses. They tell you what they want you to hear. They feed you the information they want you to absorb. Okay, that's how that goes. Leon says we're all watched. Exactly. They're watching us through our phones. They're tracking us through our debit cards with the little chips. Remember when they brought that to the surface and they said, oh, Obama's debit card got stolen or something like that? And so this was their excuse for putting chips and all this stuff. Please sit down somewhere. Who did they think they were fooling? Who did they think they were fooling? Who in their right mind in the United States trust the government? If you trust the government, you have to be out of your mind. Okay? Especially if you're somebody who looks like me and you trust the government. That's even more absurd. Okay? That's even more absurd. This isn't just about them getting rid of TikTok. This is about power and control and keeping the masses from waking up. They do not want a bunch of woke people walking around here, especially a bunch of woke Negroes. You think they want that? They don't want you finding out who you really are. They don't want you to realize that you're a God, as it says in Psalm 82:6. They don't want you to know who you are and how powerful you really can be. I want you to keep on listening to Sukihana, keep on listening to Dusty Red, aka Sexy Red, and acting like fools. That's what they want. They don't want you gathering and obtaining any knowledge, nor do they want you sharing any. And this is what they do. This is all so nefarious at the end of the day. But I digress. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Now, there's a video that I want to show you all. I hope I can find it quickly. Hold on for just a second. And here's the thing, too. If you all remember during the pandemic, I told you all about how they were trying to control our energy. Okay, how they were trying to control our energy. Because remember, they were saying that essential businesses were the only ones that could be opened. If you were not an essential worker and all those things, you didn't go to work. Who are they to decide what's essential? And when they were saying this, why is it that liquor stores were still open? Is liquor essential? I didn't think so. But why was it still open? So people could act like fools and take on spirits. Okay? Let's not forget they call some of these liquor stores spirits, or they call liquor or alcohol spirits, because it causes people to take on spirits. And in fact, I told you before, the word alcohol comes from the Arabic word al-kal, which is a demon. Okay? So please pay attention. At the end of the day, they want to keep us, yes, they want to keep us drunk, Courtney J. They want to keep us fooled. They want to keep us under the influence so that we're easier to control and maintain, so that we're more susceptible to doing what they say and believing what they say and not ever seeking or looking for the truth. And for those of us who do seek and look for the truth, who do research, right? What does research mean? As I told you before, anything with the word R-E in front of it, means to do again. So when you search again and again and again, that's research. They don't want you researching because they don't want you to keep looking for stuff over and over and over. Because when you start looking and you keep looking, you're going to find something. And it's going to be something they don't want you to know about. Please pay attention. I also told you how the word test. Okay? Now, initially, the letter T was shaped like a cross. Okay? Like how the small t is still shaped. And the word test. Okay? The two T's at the beginning and the end. That is the direction of travel. North, east, south, and west. That's what that represents. The E is for the energy. And the S, which is half of the number 8, which represents infinity, but the S is the path of travel. So they have you trapped, okay? They have you trapped and they have your energy trapped, and they're directing the flow of your energy. So when they tell you that you're not going to be able to watch TikTok, you're not going to be able to get on this app or that app, you're not going to be able to say these things or those things. They're controlling the flow of your energy and directing the path that you are on. With that all being said, leading you to more brainwashing, more indoctrination, and prohibiting you from seeing the truth of the things that they don't want you to know. Okay, please pay attention. Like I said, whistleblowers turn up deceased for a reason. Because anybody out here speaking against the narrative, going against the grain, telling truth to power, unraveling or unveiling the things that they want to keep hidden, well, they have a special treat for them. And it's called sending them to the spiritual realm. Please pay attention. It's all nefarious. Okay, so this is a whole lot more than just being about TikTok. And they're calling this bill a Trojan horse. Here's the video I was looking for. Let's get into it. Likes up. Timber Dad said, Dr. Queen, esoteric woman. Thank you, beloved. Prime One said the upper room. Absolutely. Now let's look at this video.
TikTok application as a Trojan horse, but there's some of us who feel that either intentionally or unintentionally, this legislation to ban TikTok is actually a Trojan horse. Some of us are concerned that there are First Amendment implications here. Americans have the right to view information. We don't need to be protected by the government from information. Some of us just don't want the president picking which apps we can put on our phones or which websites that we can visit. We don't think that's appropriate. We also think it's dangerous to give the president that kind of power, to give him the power to decide what Americans can see on their phones and their computers. To give him that sort of discretion, we also think is dangerous. They've described the TikTok app.
Okay, please pay attention. It is dangerous. It absolutely is dangerous for us. Because if they're only feeding us information that they want us to know, we won't be knowing anything about the truth of what's really going on. And that's just a fact. Okay? That's just a fact. Reggie says, dogs bark, fish swim, and these people will never change. We have to change. Exactly. All right? So with that all being said, it's just really distressing that this is where we are. And they want to act like this country is the place where you fulfill your dreams, you live the American dream and all of that. The American dream is clearly a nightmare as far as I'm concerned. Okay, please pay attention and make no mistake. So with that all being said, now let's talk about Don Lemon. Because Don Lemon has some things to say about Elon Musk. So I'm going to pull that up real quick. Everyone, please get the likes up. Please like and share. Thank you in advance.
Hi, everyone. Elon Musk is mad at me. And I just put out a statement about what happened between him, me, and the interview that he is apparently so upset about. But make no mistake about this. This is going to be my first episode of the Don Lemon Show this coming Monday, March 18th. So make sure you tune in. This does not change anything about the show except for my relationship with Elon and X. And there's a whole lot that went down, and I'm going to tell you about in the coming days. I know, though, that many of you were not happy that I was doing this in the first place, and you told me so. I just want you to know that I did this deal because not only do I believe in free speech, but I believed that this was the best possible chance for the work that I'm doing to reach the largest amount of people. So speaking of free speech, right, I thought the first person interview, no brainer, Elon Musk, the man who calls himself a free speech absolutist. I asked him to do it. He willingly agreed to the interview. Throughout our conversation, I kept reiterating to him that although it was tense at times, I thought it was good for people to see and hear our exchange and that they would learn from our conversation, learn more about him, learn more about me. But apparently, free speech absolutism doesn't apply when it comes to questions about him from people like me. What did we talk about? Why is he so upset? Does he even have a reason to be upset? Make sure you watch it on Monday on YouTube and everywhere you listen to podcasts, and you can decide for yourself. You can even watch it on X because I'm still going to post it there, and I'm sure others will as well.
Well, I'll be waiting to see what all went down on the 18th. Please pay attention. But in the meantime, between time, so listen to what's been said about Trump.
Donald Trump is now well, here we are, you guys. Donald Trump is now the presumptive GOP nominee for president again for a third time, despite the fact that he's a twice impeached, four-time criminal indictee and racist who's been found liable for fraud and sexual abuse, banned from doing business in the state of New York for 3 years, owes over $500 million in fine, took millions from foreign governments while he was president, tried to extort a foreign country to interfere in an election in 2020, and encouraged another to help him win in 2016, actively undermined the nation's response to a once-in-a-lifetime pandemic, and let a deadly disease spiral out of control. It's about to go on trial for breaking campaign finance laws by paying hush money to cover up an affair during the 2016 campaign. Orchestrated a months-long coup attempt that culminated in a violent insurrection to disrupt the peaceful transfer of power and install him as an unelected dictator. Stole classified documents and obstructed attempts to get them back. Has never once won the popular vote and has been routinely rejected by a majority of Americans in election after election. spews deranged conspiracy theories about everything from climate change to immigration to vaccines to windmills, glitches on 3-syllable words, 2-syllable words, and 1-syllable words, cheats at golf, can't spell his own name, his wife's name, or the words indicted, education, unprecedented, stolen, Denmark, Kentucky, or tap. And is, on top of everything else, the single weirdest and most off-putting human being on the face of the planet. And this is the same planet Ted Cruz lives on, so that's saying something.
I find it all so interesting. Don't y'all? I mean, I was like, is he ever going to stop? I mean, because people don't realize all the dirt that Trump has in fact done. I'm just saying, please pay attention. And specifically, these people don't realize it. And even if they do, they don't care. Look at them. I find it all so egregious. Clearly nefarious. Okay, so with that all being said, Shirley said, you asked me, they're both terrible. Yes, they absolutely are. Reggie said, so nefarious. Queen Sam said, Lord, not the assembly line of nitwits. Okay, I absolutely cannot. But hold on, I got to show you all this funny video before we leave up out of here, okay? And I hope you all have the most wonderful, spectacular, blacknificent day ever. All right, but let's check out this video before we roll out.
No, bro. Step away from the car, bro.
Is this even your car? I mean, do you have the papers for it and stuff?
Sir,
this is really expensive. It doesn't seem like you guys can afford it.
I'm about to step up. I'm about to step up, bro. I'm about to step up.
What is your issue with it? It's not my issue.
Don't
really.
touch my car.
It's my customers and stuff. I just like are just worried because it's very suspicious behavior.
Bro, suspicious behavior. We're chilling. Bro, get your hands out the way. Don't touch my car.
Okay, well,
I'm not going to tell you again.
Okay, please still holler. Okay.
I'm not going to tell you again.
Listen,
Don't touch my car.
first of all, you are being very threatening right now. Okay? I do not feel safe right now, okay? And I tried to come over here and be polite and speak to you kindly, and just like you people always do, you get hostile and violent. I'm on my job, and I have people coming here talking about the two scary guys in the car.
Oh my God.
And on my job.
Bro, you sound crazy.
I sound crazy.
You gotta relax.
Me?
What's going on?
I am not going to relax, okay? I am not going to chill out or whatever you kids say, okay?
You overreacting.
I'm not going to relax until you are out of this parking lot.
Why are you
stop
yelling?
endangering my customers.
Why are you yelling?
Because I am threatened right now.
I feel threatened.
You're the scary one.
Wow. You know what? Call the police.
No, I am.
Go ahead and
go.
This is insane,
I
bro.
cannot believe this in my own parking lot where I work.
Oh my God. This is crazy.
Wow.
What's going on, bro?
Whoa.
That was funny. Okay, now that had to be a skit. Not in his own parking lot. And then he sashayed off. I cannot with him. Dan said this has to be a skit. It has to, because he could not have been serious by any stretch of anyone's imagination. Then he sashayed off, honey. In my own parking lot. You're the one who's scary. First of all, sir, if he was the one that was scary, and you felt so threatened, why are you in front of his car? You could easily have walked away. Okay, why did you walk over to him and then say this car looks pretty expensive? Are you sure you can afford this? Oh, honey, it's the theatrics of it all for me, the Crazy Beach Aries, okay? The Crazy Beach Aries said full theatrics. Oh, my goodness. Reggie says, that fool said, you're the scary one. Essential Oil Queen says, sachet, Shantae. I know that's right. He was something else. Hold on, let's watch it one more time before we roll out, because I absolutely cannot.
No, bro. Step away from the car, bro.
Is this even your car? I mean, do you have the papers for it and stuff?
Sir,
this is really expensive. Doesn't seem like you guys can afford it.
I'm about to step up. I'm about to step up, bro.
I'm
about to step up.
What is your issue with it?
It's not my issue.
Don't
really.
touch my car.
It's my
Don't touch my
customers
car,
and stuff. I just like are just worried because it's very suspicious behavior.
Bro,
Suspicious behavior. We're chilling. Bro, get your hands out the
Bro,
way.
don't touch my car.
Okay, well,
I'm not going to tell you again.
Okay, please don't holler. Okay.
I'm not going to tell you again.
Listen,
Don't touch my car.
first of all, you are being very threatening right now. Okay? I do not feel safe right now, okay? And I tried to come over here and be polite and speak to you kindly, and just like you
crazy,
people
bro.
always do, you get hostile and violent. I'm on my job, and I have people coming here talking about the two scary guys in the car.
Oh my God.
And on my job.
Bro, you sound crazy.
I sound crazy.
You gotta relax.
Me?
What's going on?
I am not going to relax, okay? I am not going to chill out or whatever you kids say, okay?
You overreacting.
I'm not going to relax until you are out of this parking lot.
Why are you
stop
yelling?
endangering my customers.
Why are you yelling?
Because I am threatened right now.
I feel threatened.
You're the scary one.
Wow. You know what? Call the police.
You know, I am.
Go ahead and
I
call
am
the police.
This is insane,
I
bro.
cannot believe this in my own parking lot where I work.
Oh my God, this is crazy. What's going on, bro?
Whoa.
Absolutely cannot. Now that was hilarious. Okay, including the various. Pay attention. So with that all being said, I'm out of here, honey. The Queen is signing off for today. All right. And so listen, I haven't been on the spiritual channel today, or I don't think I've been on there any this week that I can recall, but I'll be on that tomorrow. Okay. I have been busy. I have some other stuff going on and new projects in the works. So with that all being said, please pay attention. So I will be on the spiritual channel tomorrow for everyone, and I'll post something for the members only as well. Okay, so until next time, beloveds, each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Until next time, peace.
Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece. This time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got